Thank you. Senator Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank our witnesses for being here today. Before I get into my questions, there are two issues that are critical to Michigan. I just want to highlight, despite the fact we don't have DOT leadership responsible for them present at today's hearing. The first is the implementation of key workforce provisions that I championed in the FAA reauthorization, like the Promoting Women in Aviation Act and the expansion of the FAA Workforce Development Grant Program, both of which I believe must be implemented to address the aviation workforce shortages that we have. The second is the Essential Air Service Program, or EAS. Michigan has 9 rural airports served by EIS. It's the most in the lower 48 states. Last year's FAA bill included strong bipartisan reauthorization of this program, which guarantees air service to rural communities. Despite this, President Trump's budget calls for a $308 million cut to EAS. This could rob hundreds of rural communities from access to air service. And I don't think you should have to live in a big city in order to get on an airplane. And so I'm going to continue to fight for rural air service and against these harmful cuts to the program. Mr. McIntosh, Gerald Ford International Airport in Grand Rapids in Michigan is the second largest airport in my state. It sees well over 200 aircraft operations per day, and it serves as a growing part of our state, rapidly growing western area. However, even as Grand Rapids serves a record number of passengers, it's been stymied in its efforts to expand and modernize its 62-year-old FAA air traffic control tower that the agency has not acted to replace. As you well know, Grand Rapids is not alone. Towers across the country are awaiting replacement. FAA's efforts to address this backlog have only been further restricted by budgetary constraints. So my question for you, sir, is Secretary Duffy put out a plan to address facilities backlog at FAA, but he failed to include how much that will cost. So my question is, do you have an estimate of what level of funding it would take to address the air traffic control tower modernization backlog specifically? And additionally, can you discuss how aging facilities are complicating the job of air traffic control?
I apologize, Senator Peters, but I do not have that information for you. If it's okay, can I circle back with your staff and get you the information exactly what you're looking for?
Yeah, happy to have that.
Thank you, sir.
Good, thank you. Mr. Hybeck, I have long advocated for the FAA to transition away from the use of toxic PFAS-containing firefighting foams. The FAA Reauthorization Act includes a provision that I champion to ensure a quick transition to new non-PFAS firefighting foam alongside financial resources for the airports necessary to make that transition. Michigan airports continue to lead the way on this issue, but they need a strong partner at the FAA to support the transition away from the use of PFAS and protect our communities from further contamination. In order for the FAA to be that partner, it must have the appropriate funding, obviously, to implement that transition. So my question to you is, could you speak to the importance of providing the necessary resources for airports to make this transition? And additionally, what is the timeline for implementation of the PFAS replacement program for airports currently?
So yes, Senator, and I appreciate your support on this important reauthorization provision. We have made great progress in implementing the requirements of reauthorization. We have met the requirement in the bill to develop and publish a transition plan to fluorine-free foams. That is up on our website, along with a lot of guidance to airport sponsors in forms of YouTubes and other pieces of guidance that could help them transition. We have established the framework for the transition grant program, the non-PFAS foam transition grant program, including consultation with the EPA. The only thing that we would need there to start awarding grants in that area would be the appropriation. Those are more operational costs, not capital costs, eligible under the Airport Improvement Program. So we need a special appropriation to do things like clean equipment to dispose of PFAS foams and to acquire non-PFAS foams.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.